Hey, it's Ubu, and today we're playing the demo for a game called CD-ROM. It's developed by Monocle Lord, it's self-published, and you can find the game on Steam. This is part of the Steam Next Fest, and the developer reached out to me through email and asked me to try out their demo, and I'm happy to oblige. And if you're not familiar with my channel, at the end of the video, I'll review the game, share my general thoughts, give it my final judgment, and I will have timestamps in the description. Now let me tell you about the game, and we'll get started. CD-ROM is a game that features a series of puzzles located inside 10 different themed CDs. Players progress by deciphering coded texts, analyzing images, finding hints for minigames, and many more. Each clue leads players to 8-digit passwords that are required to unlock the next CD. 10 CDs, 10 passwords. Now that you know what the game is about, we'll go ahead and hit New User, I guess, and see what's up. So, New User. Alright, we're going to select our user slot here. And we can set our username. Okay, Ubu, gotcha. And we can select our user picture. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Which one do we want? I'm going to go with the palm trees, because that seems nice. Welcome. I don't think this is horror per se, but I'm all for cryptic puzzle games, and you know, I figured this would be fun to try out. So here we are. What do we do first? You? Let's see. Okay, so we have a mini card text display on the left. If my camera is blocking something, there's so much on the screen, we're just going to have to deal with it. So hopefully I'm in a correct spot here, but maybe let's just click on CD-ROM. No CD found. Okay, read me. All right, welcome. This is a small manual for your first test. You'll have access to a limited number of peripherals. The black screen at the top right is your memory screen. Click on it and write what you would like to save. Okay. Top left is for mini card text display. Each CD case contains a text card which comes with critical informations required for your journey. Bottom right is optical drive to insert CDs. Press the button above it to open CD menu. The rest is waiting for you in the full test. Okay. I guess that makes sense. So, all right. Ooh, this is really cool. I like how this looks. CD number 1, Pix Editor. Okay, unlock. I don't quite understand this. We need... we need a code? I guess? Interesting. Interesting, okay. Maybe, alright. Gotcha. These are all the different CDs, I guess. Alright, let's go back. So let's click this. Okay. I also just thought of this the second I was listening to that. Maybe I use this code here. So if I can go up here on the top right, see, 162479118. Okay, let's try that. Let's open this up. All right, so 162479118. Hey, we did it. CD number 1's mini card is unlocked and can be found in the mini card text display. Okay. So now we need to unlock this one. Or... oh, I clicked it. Okay. There we go. I like all the sounds. Well, oh, there we go. Okay. I'm getting the hang of this. We're easing ourselves into this. So we need a password for this editor powered by safe. Okay. Lock. Lock pick. EX. ET. Oh. Wonder what this is trying to tell us. I'm just kind of clicking and hitting random stuff just to see what they do. Lock pick. Interesting. Okay. Go back. Get message pick. Oof. Welcome to CD-ROM. Each CD contains hints, messages, and passwords for your journey. There was one hidden message inside this image. That's your next ticket. That's your ticket to next CD. There's one hidden message inside this image. Okay. Interesting. Let's look at... Oh, this is Morse code. Oh, no. I just played a game that had Morse code, but it, like, kind of did it for me. I hope I don't have to, like, actually figure this out. Oh, no. Morse code just doesn't... I understand what it is, but it doesn't make sense to me at the same time. Like, when I'm listening to it, I can't keep up with it. Maybe I'll just put that on hold for now and just see what else we got here. Okay, here's another key. BHKTY. This is a receipt. Thanks to your purchase. Huh. So... Interesting. I'm not sure really what we should be doing. I really don't know where to start. That's my problem with puzzle games sometimes, is like, where's my starting point? So, we have this image with letters and squares. So we need the editor to open. That's our starting point. So we need to open this editor up somehow. Whoa, this is the Steam page. That's really cool. I like that. All right, I'm silly. I didn't read this receipt close enough. It's a receipt for the Pixel editor. So I'm gonna use the key to get in there. So like QDB. Do I need to like cap this or what? It's work. Hey. Alright, we need to install it. Nice. Alright. I overlooked what the receipt actually said, so that's my fault. Anyways, let's now... It's on our board here. Okay, open. Message pick. Red. Aha! Because the thing on the left that we were looking at has red. So, that's what we needed. Really cool stuff. So, let's get rid of that. We have 81624793. Alrighty then. So is that for the next CD? Let's try it. We have 8, 1, 6, 2, 4, 7, 9, 3. Hey! We did it! Okay, let's use this one. Nice. Alright. So maybe this is an order we need to do things in. So like island has a 9 in it. Let's try that. Let's try doing an order here. So 9. Cafe. 5? Is the V there, maybe? Or is there a number I don't see? Is it like an optical illusion? Let's just try 5 for now. I'm not really sure. Pagoda. 1. Tower. Which is 2 o'clock? 2? Okay. Square. 8. And then blue. 2. Boat. 6? Is that what that's supposed to be? Guess so. Pretty clever idea, using these pictures like this. And 3. I don't know if I have this correct, but we're gonna try it. I like being able to keep track of all this, though, and I have to remember literally everything. That's pretty great. It's nice, too, just, like, feeling like I can interact with the computer a lot more this way. I think it's pretty cool, actually. Nice, nice, nice. Elevator, interdimensional journeys. I was trying to read elevator and interdimensional at the same time, I guess. Whatever. Number and colors. Okay. I don't know how a bunch of squares are going to help me. Alright, we need a password for the setup. Alright, let me close it. Gosh. And in the bottom left, you probably could tell I typed in some random letters in this thing. It's a database, but it says we have to wait for the full version, so. Good God, that's very bright red. Red, green, blue, yellow, purple. Numbers and colors. I don't know where to start. Let's maybe just do this and just see if anything pops up while we mess with this. Brightness alpha. No. Okay. Saturation. Hurts my eyes. Features below will be available in the full version. Okay. Desktop. No image found. Okay. This isn't doing anything like I thought it would. I'm not seeing anything. So, trying to understand what the chip on the left is trying to tell me. Because it's like, it just says numbers and colors. There's 3, 6, 9, 12 squares. But there's only 5 pictures. We need this password. How do we get the password for the setup? Alright, well, I'm going to start looking at other CDs, because I've been stuck on the 3rd CD for, like, literally forever. And I don't know what to do. I thought maybe the game would continue forward rather than having to jump back between CDs, so I don't know. I don't know how the Morse code is supposed to help me yet. Okay, well, the CD we're on is called Elevator. Don't know how this is supposed to help me, though. Because I can't unlock that program on the 3rd CD. I'm just, like, super confused. So, VX... I don't get what the squares are supposed to tell me. Alright, anyways, well, I guess we'll just go look at the other CD. I was thinking Elevator was the password, since the 3rd CD is called Elevator, but I don't know what else there is to do. Just keep looking around, I guess. Alright, I've been looking around again for stuff. I went back just to write down the elevator letters. Seeing if there's any way to find symbols that resemble those, like, boxes. Oh, there's one of them. So, 8. And what was the other one? It was like an X. Not this, right? Is it the window? Is this supposed to be it here? And let's try it, I guess. I've been doing this for, I would say, too long. I feel really silly not being able to figure this out for so long, because, like I said, I assumed, since we're on the third CD, we stay on the third CD until we solve it. That's what I assumed for some reason, so... Anyways, let's see if I can finally do this. So, VX 89. Okay, maybe it's capitals. VX 89. Hey, we did it. It only took 45 minutes. Nice. Alright, let's install this. Cool. Install successfully. Wonderful. Let's enter. What is this? Oh, we're playing like a game within a game. That's pretty cool, actually. Puzzle book. What is the thing on the left? I don't know. Let's just look around some. Here? So... Okay. What is this supposed to tell me? What are these symbols? Oh, I'll be honest, this doesn't make any sense to me. I realize it's a lot of cryptic approaches here, but I don't know. Oh. Okay. So there's a way to get out of here. So this is... maybe in correlation with them on the thing on the left, actually. I don't know. The only thing I saw with colors on it recently was when we were just looking at these pictures. So let's go look back at those real quick. Because I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. So it was one of these had colors on it. Okay. So this pattern, I never realized matches what we have on the left here. So 3, 6, okay. So it's yellow, green, blue, purple, red. Is there a way for me to, like, make a note of that? Maybe, like, yellow, green, blue, purple, red? I don't know. This is really racking my brain here, to be honest with you, so... maybe I didn't have to go back to CD3, or maybe I did. I don't know. Anyways, let's go back in here. So... the thing on the left, obviously this is like Sudoku or something, which I'm like, I've never played ever, so... so it's like yellow, green, blue, purple, red. What's really throwing me off is like the numbers and colors thing. Like, this says 1 by red. Is this telling me the order, not... Well, like, red, green, blue, yellow, purple? Originally, I thought it was like 1, 3, 4, 6, 8. I don't understand what I'm supposed to look at that shows me a color and a number associated with it. Because on CD3, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the files, it's red, green, blue, yellow, purple. So like 8, 3, 4, 1, 6. Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright, we pressed a button. Well done, you did a great job. I don't think I did a great job at all, to be honest with you. Your interest in this test and the persistence of your curiosity has impressed me. You are already beyond what I expected from you. Thanks, it's reassuring. The potential you possess is a great return for my investment. I am quite certain that continuing with you will be the wisest decision. For now, you should rest. Your test phase is ending. Don't forget, this is only the beginning. Oh, Lord. Your journey is going to be exciting. I'm eagerly awaiting the moment we meet again. Alright. Let's into the demo. Nice. Yikes. That was like way more complicated than I ever expected. I am terrible at overthinking things, though, so... Yikes. Alright, well, I guess I'll review the game now. If you're just here for the gameplay, I appreciate you hanging out, and I hope to see you again. Anyways, I'm going to start with the visuals in my review here. And visually, I really like the way the game looks. It has this very nice analog, appealing look to it. And I don't know if it's technically analog, but very retro, nostalgic look of how a computer, could have been like back in the day. And I like seeing all the little gizmos and buttons and stuff all over the screen. I thought that was really cool. I especially like the use of color. I like the way the, windows look with the photos and stuff, kind of grainy, kind of pixelated, low resolution. And I think that's pretty convincing and, very appropriate for, the kind of computer we're on. So I really like it visually. Overall, I don't have any complaints about the visuals. I think it looks great. In terms of audio, the audio is very subtle for the most part. You can hear the computer turning on when you first open the game. Press the power button. I like being able to interact with it in that way. And then like the inserting the CD into the CD-ROM and hearing it kind of power up and start to read the disc. The little details of like opening and closing menus and things like that, I think all are pretty convincing, very appropriate for what we're doing in the game. And I had a good time with that. I think the audio definitely stands out as like very authentic, like I've said about the visuals. And I think those go hand in hand with making this a really enjoyable experience overall. So just like with the visuals, I don't have any complaints personally, and I think you did a fine job with it. Now on to mechanics. I knew I was getting myself into a cryptic puzzle game, but I did not expect myself to be so stumped by the third CD puzzle. It like threw me for... I've almost been doing this for like 2 hours. I'm not going to lie to you. So yeah, that one was way crazier than I expected. For some reason, I had convinced myself that you start with CD1, and then when you solve the code for that, you get the microchip, right? And the microchip helps you solve the next CD. You have to use it, basically. So you go on to CD2, and you use the microchip hint, whatever, to solve that. And then I go on to the third CD, and now the the microchip that I have is telling me numbers and colors. So I'm like, that must be what's used to solve the third CD. But I had no freaking idea how to actually unlock the elevator program itself. And the fact that I had to go backwards and look at the other CDs, I don't know if that was necessarily conveyed that would be what you would do. I was under the assumption that once you get to a CD, you use the previous CD's microchip hint to solve it, and then you would stay on that CD until you figured it out, because that's how the other two worked, right? So I was really, really confused by that, and I didn't even think about going back because I thought there's something on here that I'm missing. I kept opening up the colors in the Pix editor, seeing if I could like reduce the saturation and change things like that to maybe have numbers or something appear for me to unlock the elevator program. Because to me, that made the most sense. Like I can still use the Pix thing, and then when I open the Pix editor up, it shows the 5 pictures on CD3 of the colors. So then I would go and then edit them and try to put the code together to unlock the elevator program. I thought that's what I had to do. I thought I was doing it wrong, and I just kept doing that forever, like over an hour. And then I just was like, I'll just go back and look and see if there's anything that connects the dots anywhere. And thankfully we finally made it through. So I'm not sure if it's just player error, not realizing the overarching sort of connection of the CDs, rather than it being like CD by CD basis. Like each CD has its own self-contained puzzle is what I thought. So I'll take the fault for that, but hopefully there's a way to convey that you need to pay attention to every single CD going forward, to at least plant the idea that I can't figure this out. Maybe I should go look back further and have that sort of idea pop into my head a little sooner, because I was very lost, honestly. So hopefully going forward, you can make it a very obvious point that not all of the puzzles will be solved just on the CD you're on. Like make it a point to say, look back at previous CDs if you find yourself stuck, because I think that would go a long ways. Other than that, I've played a couple of games somewhat similar to this, where you're basically just sitting and looking at a computer, and I really like that aesthetic and how the idea of puzzle solving goes hand in hand with that very well. And I think it's very appropriate. It reminds me just of being a kid and playing like puzzle games on some random website, or playing like Freddy Fish, like point and click games. There's just a very nice, appealing, sort of comforting sort of vibe with solving puzzles like this. And I think it works well. I just think you need to convey to the player, especially people like me, obviously, that, hey, you need to make sure to look around everywhere if you get stuck. Like, don't think that, you know, you need to just look at one CD at a time. Other than that, I would say while the puzzles are pretty straightforward, somewhat, I don't mind some difficulty spikes here and there. I think if I were just more aware of being required to backtrack, I think all of my sort of frustrations would maybe be alleviated a little bit. But I could see where this could go. I could really see this having a lot of potential with the kind of puzzles you could squeeze in here in this kind of format, and I think it's really cool. So while I had my own frustrations being stuck for so long and being confused about the third CD puzzle, I would still say this is a really solid foundation mechanically, and it's very interesting, and like I said, has a very nice vibe about it. So great job overall with the mechanics. I think you could just fine tune its presentation of what you're expected to do, and potentially add things like copy and paste, or having multiple windows open at once, or like screenshotting things or whatever. Obviously you're trying to emulate the functionality of a computer of this era, but I think there could be some quality of life improvements of micromanaging different pictures and stuff all at the same time. And maybe in the full version, you already have that planned, but I don't think those are necessarily required, but I think they might add a little bit more of a dynamic to actually solving the puzzles themselves. But if you want it to be more of a linear experience of one window at a time, like I said, emulating this sort of technology, then I think that's totally respectable. With all that being said, the mechanics are pretty solid. Now, in my reviews, I usually talk about the story and the concept. There's really no story here. You're just solving puzzles on an old computer. So moving on to the concept, I will say the concept of the game is really solid, like I've already touched on, with emulating this kind of technology and this nostalgic time period for some of us, at least. I think it's really cool to interact with and to sit down and just be a part of this and solve the puzzles and, you know, hear all the sounds and everything. And overall, the concept I think is solid and has a lot of potential. In terms of performance and settings, I would say the performance is super solid. No issues whatsoever with it. At least based on my experience, I had no problems with it. So really solid job there. And I'm not sure if there are settings. I feel like I need to go in game to do that. All right, so I'm in game and I wanted to open these options up here. Right, here are the settings. They're in game where you have to like load up your profile. So you have your resolutions here and then your screen mode. So pretty basic stuff here. I don't really think there needs to be a whole lot of options in a game like this. Obviously, maybe some audio options if people really want to crank up the diegetic mechanical sounds and, you know, really immerse themselves. You know, of course, they could also just turn up their computer volume. But from what we experienced, I would say these settings are acceptable, but don't be afraid to add some weird adjustments, maybe like color blindness, things like that for people, because there's a lot of color and stuff on the screen here. So accessibility options like that, I think would be pretty solid, or even maybe a hint system for those that really get stuck, but that's totally up to you. So overall, like I said, the performance is totally solid across the board, no issues whatsoever. And while the settings that are here are appropriate for this kind of game, like I said, I think it would be interesting to add some accessibility options such as color blindness or anything like that, or maybe a hint system or a timed hint system after a while, where it's like, are you stuck? Try doing this or whatever. I'm not saying I want that per se, but I think it would help in cases like mine where I was just like stuck for over an hour, like I'm so confused. But like I said, that's totally up to you. Whatever your design philosophy is, I totally respect. But anyways, with all that being said, my final judgment for the CD-ROM demo is I would say it's good. I would say it's a good game all the way across the board. I enjoyed pretty much everything about it, except for my frustrations of being confused and lost and not realizing that you do need to do some backtracking. And I think inferring that to the player can go a long way, especially in the full game where people aren't just frustrated and quit. You know, I don't think you want that necessarily. So, and while the performance and everything was super solid as well, I think that having a few options here and there in addition to what you have could go a long way. I don't really have much else to say about it. I just think it's a nice little fun puzzle game and maybe a few nitpicks here and there on my end, but I think an overall pretty solid experience, has a lot of potential, good bones, and I think you're going to do just fine with this. Thanks again for reaching out and asking me to play your demo. I appreciate the opportunity and I had a really good time with this. If you have anything else pop up in the future, feel free to reach out. You know how to reach me. And I wish you the best of luck on your future endeavors and your work. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this game? Do you agree or disagree with me? Do you have anything to add? Just want to say hi? Let me know what's up. Don't forget to check the pinned comment below for the links to everything and go play this game for yourself and form your own opinion. I'm sure the developer would really appreciate your feedback as well as mine. If you'd like to support my channel, hit subscribe, leave a like, comment, and share the video. I'd really appreciate that. And I thank you for watching my video. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I think that's all I have to say about it. So thanks for hanging out with me. But don't forget.